What if the only thing standing between you and your next project management role is the wrong credential? Let's break down whether it should be a PMP or a master's in project management. You mind if I share a short story with you? As I was growing into my journey of being a project manager, stood at a career crossroad that I'm sure is familiar to many of you. My goal was clear. I wanted the PMP. In my mind, it was the key to unlocking a new level of power and responsibility as a project manager. Had the drive. Matter of fact, I definitely have the passion, but I had a problem. After auditing my experience, I discovered I was just shy of the required hours. It's a bit funny when you really think about it. My own career development became a project, and I was suddenly facing a major resource constraint. I could have waited, just grinded out the hours until I was eligible. Therefore, I had to ask myself a much deeper question. Was this journey about getting a credential for a job, or was it about my commitment to truly mastering my craft? That moment of awareness changed my entire approach. I decided to turn that obstacle into an opportunity and enrolled in a master's in project management program. It became a strategic move to deepen my understanding of the why behind project leadership and not just the how. See, and that experience is the very reason we're starting with the first principle today. Because before I could make the right decision for my career, I had to look past the certification on the wall and define what my personal career ROI truly was. Define what career ROI means to you. Principle number one. Basically, what is your career return on an investment? See, return on investment, it's not about money. Sometimes we get so caught up in the money piece. Yes, it's important. Yes, it offers that opportunity. But what about your time? What about your effort? What about the credibility? And most of all, the opportunities gained. See, choosing between the PMP and the Masters of a Project Management degree means asking what kind of return you value most. Why is this important? If you only focus on salary, you may make a decision on a path that makes you more money in the short term, but leaves your career where you don't even enjoy what you're doing. Defining your personal return on investment ensures that the path you decide aligns with which it truly motivates you, leading to a greater long-term success and fulfillment. Experiment with these actionable tips. Point number one, list your non-financial goals. For example, do you want to be an industry leader? Do you want to work on innovative projects? Do you want to mentor others, international opportunities, or entrepreneurial freedom? Next point, timeline for expectation. Estimate the time and money investment each path will require. Use real numbers, family. Again, use real numbers. And the last and final one, mentoring, coaching. Invest in speaking with two professionals, one a PMP and the other a master's in project management, and ask how each path changed their career. And I have to say, you're in luck because I am a PMP and I have a master's of project management, and I could coach and train you to see, based on what your career return on investment is, what would be a good path for you. Principle number two, understand the experience requirements for the PMP. See, the PMP is a credential that validates existing experience, is not an entry point into the field. The PMI requires you to have documented history of leading and directing projects. Here's another caveat. With that being the case, they will, if you get audited in the auditing process, they will reach out to the resource that you put on your application of saying, yes, this is the particular project. So the concept of it is this includes around different aspects from initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, closing projects, agile. So simply being a team member is not enough. You must have been in a position of leadership. This is very important. Why is this important? Because this is a non-negotiable prerequisite. It is a primary gatekeeper for the certification. Understanding this requirement prevents you from wasting time and money preparing for an exam you're not eligible to take. So let's sum all that up. What am I saying there? You have to understand the efforts that PMI puts into this PMP or CAPM or any PMI certification. But today we're talking about the PMP. And the reason why they do it is because this is global. This is one of those certifications that is I say the platinum standard. I'm going past gold. This is platinum standard. So they want to hold people accountable. So I'm going to tell you, experiment with these actual tips. PMP content outline. Go to PMI's website, download the PMP content outline to determine the most current and recent eligibility requirements. Next point, review of PMP application. Seek pre-application feedback, family. Before submitting your application, have a current PMP holder or mentor review your documented experience to ensure it meets the standard. And the last and final point here, perform a project audit. Create a spreadsheet to log your projects for each one. Detail your specific role, responsibilities, and project duration, and just basically the hours spent leading those particular tasks. Principle number 3, masters in project management requires less experience, but more commitment. See, most masters in project management programs don't require prior project management experience, but they do demand sustained commitment to coursework, to projects, as well as group collaboration. Why is this important? See, the Masters in Project Management is a more accessible choice for career changers or early career professionals who already have their bachelor's degree, who want to get in a structured education program without needing experience first. But wait, I want to just throw this in. Although today's episode is around the PMP and the Masters in Project Management, you could also look at your CAPM, which requires less experience. So you don't have to have experience to get the CAPM, but you do need the credit hours or the educational hours in order to be able to sit for the exam. And you definitely, hopefully, will go through some training. So I say all that to say that if you decide to go to your master's, it will require more time. It will require more commitment, and you will be held accountable because now you're on the hook for if you did a student loan or if you had a grant or however you got into that university, you're going to have to pay for it. So I want you to experiment with these actual tips. Map your time. Block out your average week. Let's be realistic. Where can you fit 10 to 20 hours of study, class time, and group work for the next 2 years? And be transparent and completely honest with yourself. Next point, attend a program webinar. Most universities host online information sessions for their Masters of Project Management programs, and basically most masters. So attending one will give you the direct feel for the academic expectation and potentially your weekly workload. And the last and final one, evaluate your learning style. Do you thrive on the pressure of a short-term goal of going after your studying for your PMP, or do you prefer a long, or I should say a more exploratory academic approach with peer collaboration and professor guidance? This is more of your Masters in Project Management. Principle number 4, PMP is globally recognized and it is respected. You better put some RESPECT on it. All right, I'm sorry, I get a little excited when I talk about it. See, the PMP is governed by a single body, the PMI, and it's based on the standards framework of the PMBOK guide, as well as the other sources. What I always say is if you're going after the PMP content outline is your best friend. So this basically means that the PMP from the United States is understood. From Japan, it is understood. From Germany, it is understood. You just keep naming the country and I'll say it's understood. See, what it does is it provides as a universal language and a benchmark for competency in the project management profession. Why is this important? In an increasingly globalized and remote work environment, this gives you a massive advantage. It provides instant credibility with employers and colleagues across borders. It makes you more of a competitive candidate for roles in multinational corporations or international assignments. Experiment with these actionable tips. Conduct a global job search. I always talk about this. Look at LinkedIn or Indeed or any of these particular or Monster and look at them. And basically what you want to do is search for project roles in 3 different countries that you may want to work in and note how frequently the PMP is listed as a preferred or required qualification. Next point, network internationally. Find project managers on LinkedIn who work for global companies and ask them how the PMP is perceived within their organization or different regional offices. And the last and final one, check university versus PMP recognition. Compare the global brand recognition of universities you are considering for the Masters in Project Management against the universal brand of the PMP. What I'm saying there is I would look and see, hey, which of these companies for a project management role are looking for a Masters in Project Management versus a PMP? If your goal is, I just want to either make a career change, or you probably wouldn't be able to make a career change unless you led projects before and you eligible to sit from a PMP. But the whole point of it is to really help you make an informed decision to say, if I'm going to go after my PMP or am I going to go after a master's in project management? All right. Principle number 5, master's in project management builds deep academic and strategic thinking. See, a master's in project management goes far behind the standards of processes of the PMP. It immerses you in the academic underpinning of the field, teaching you how to connect project management to a broader business strategy. See, coursework often includes corporate finance, organizational behavior, leadership theory, and most of all, strategic planning. You learn not just how to run a project, but why a project should be chosen and how it drives value for the entire organization. This is important, family, because strategic mindset is what enables a transition from managing projects to actually leading programs, portfolios, and eventually maybe even business units. It equips you with the language and the frameworks to communicate with executives and to make decisions that have lasting impact on the business. But the key word here is it equips you. You still have to get those reps in the real world perspective of project management. Experiment with these actionable tips. Compare curriculum. Place the PMP exam content outlines side by side by the course of 2 or 3 Masters in Project Management programs and see what the difference is as far as when it comes to scope and depth. This will immediately be clear to you. And the next one. Review a syllabus. Request a sample syllabus from a Master's in Project Management program. Look at the reading list and assignments. This will show you the level of the critical and strategic required thinking. And the last and final one, assess your career ambition. Are you really after this for a career? Because if you're after it for a career, I would not tell you not to do it. But again, as we talked about earlier, is it required? No, it's not required to have a master's of project management, nor is it required to have a PMP, but that is pending on what the organization says. If the organization says we want someone with the PMP or we want someone with a master's in project management, then yeah, you have to do it. But I still say you should go after. All right, that's enough of my rant on that. Principle number 6, cost comparison between the master's in project management and the PMP can be drastically different. Listen, let's be honest, family. See, the PMP prep, training, exam costs have different price points compared to a master's in project management. Now, I didn't know I've seen numbers from as low as $100 to as high as, I've seen it, $10,000 for PMP training. But the point I'm trying to make is it will vary. What I will say, PMP training is going to be less than a master's in project management, where that can go up to, it depends on what the program is. So you want to do a cost comparison to see if it makes sense for what your career plan is. This is important because this is often the most significant practical constraint. A master's degree is a major financial investment that may require loans and can impact your financial health for years, where the PMP is a much lower investment with a potential faster payback period. However, I don't want to fool you. I don't want you to think it's a walk in the park with the PMP. The PMP is very challenging because it's situational based. So you will have to prepare for this. You can't just go to a class and say, oh yeah, I went to this quick 2-week class and I'm ready to go to take the PMP. Especially if you have experience. I made an episode around the CAPM. I'll probably do one for the PMP because you have to understand they're looking at it from a global standpoint of what you would do globally. And you may be looking at it from what you do in your particular organization when it comes to leading projects. Experiment with these actionable tips. Build a total cost budget for the master's in project management. You want to probably look and say, okay, what are my tuition fees? What are my book fees? Potential loss of income if you study full time. So you want to look at all these different things. And then for the PMP, you want to look at your actual training. What are the exam fees? Do I have to get the study material? And then the renewal costs, as far as if you're going to be a PMI member, as well as if you're going to, when it comes to renew your certification. Next one, aggressively research funding for the Masters in Project Management, investigate scholarships, grants, employer tuition reimbursement programs. Don't assume you have to pay the full price of a Master's in Project Management. And the last and final one, calculate a break-even point. So for the Master's in Project Management, estimate post-degree salary you expect to earn, and then how many years that increased salary would take as far as to pay for the cost of the degree. Principle number 7, PMP demonstrate you've done the work. See, the PMP is a fundamental validation of real-world competency. I know a lot of people, I'm going to park here real quick, especially if you made it this far. I've been reading a lot of things from different people regarding the PMP. I'll be more clear and concise. I've read one article where someone was pushing back and saying some of the people that have earned their PMP, they really can't lead projects really well. And I disagree. See, because one of the things you have to understand, how projects is led at one organization can be totally different. And I've experienced it multiple times in my career. But the point I'm trying to make by really bringing this point up is that you have to have real world project management experience before you can even apply for the PMP. And there's a concern because of you potentially can get audited. I got audited. And that doesn't mean I've done anything wrong. It was just a point. That's how the system works. This is how they hold the integrity of the particular certification. I believe, and this is my opinion, that it also signals to your current or even future employer that you're serious about project management. When I use the word serious, is that you've taken the time to not only invest your finances, but you invested your time. Because again, the PMP is something, if you're really passionate about this thing, I love that. I hope you fall in love with, called project management. You have to study, especially if you worked in an organization that does not do the same things as align with the PMBOK. So I say all that to say, it's just really a true testament to your practical skills and confirmation of your past performance. This is important because it builds immediate trust and confidence with hiring manager. They can be assured that you can have hands-on experience navigating the challenges, politics, and complexities of actual project. It does separate you from candidates who may only have the theory knowledge. But I will say this as well, just as another caveat, just in case somebody will come over here and say anything. You still got to get what I say, the sets of reps in. You still have to continue to learn, meaning in leading real world projects. You can't just go and read a book or take a test and think that, oh, well, yeah, I can just lead in any and every project. No, that's not the case. You get exposure to those projects, you take those lessons learned, and then you get better. That's why I love this profession, because you're forced to get better. It's not a choice, it's a decision. You say, oh, you know what? When I'm filling out my lessons learned register, I'm saying, probably could have handled that issue a little bit better, or I could have led better here, or I could have budgeted better here. So this is why I love this profession, because it forces you to get better over time as you continue to get exposure to different projects. All right, experiment with these actionable tips. Frame your resume story. Use PMP knowledge to structure your resume bullet points as mini case studies, showing how you apply to specific principles to achieve successful outcomes. Next point, prepare your behavioral interview. There's a method out there. They call it the STAR method, meaning STAR stands for situation, task, action, and results, to prepare stories from your project experience that demonstrate your competencies to outline in the PMP framework. And the last and final one, lead with your experience in interviews. Introduce yourself as a PMP certified project managers with X amount of years of experience leading projects in Y industry. This immediately establishes your credibility. Principle number 8, the PMP and a master's in project management can coexist. See, the decision is not always either or. It can be which one first. The PMP and the Masters of Project Management are highly complementary. What does that mean? Highly complementary. Well, what I mean by that is that the Masters in Project Management provides the broad business acumen and strategic foundation, while the PMP provides the standardized, global recognized toolkit for execution. You always hear me talking about building up your project management toolkit. And many Masters of Project Management programs are PMI accredited. The one I went to was PMI accredited, and their coursework can fulfill the PM. I think mine's fulfilled a little bit of the educational requirement. Can't remember how much. But this is important because the strategic view removes the pressure of making one perfect choice for an entire career. It allows you to build your credentials over time in a way that aligns with your evolving goals. You can sequence them to meet your immediate needs while building towards your long-term vision. Experiment with these actionable tips. Sequence your immediate need. If your need for a credential is to get a better job right now, the PMP will at least set you up for success faster, because as we all know, if you go after your master's in project management, it's going to take much longer, it may be a year or two, depending on what the program is. And the next one, choose a 2-for-1 program. So if you decide on a master's of project management, prioritize that program that also is a PMI authorized training partner. This will explicitly prepare you for the PMP and streamline the process of getting both. And the last and final one, create a 10-year development plan. Map out what you want to do in 10 years, then work backwards. Which credential makes the most sense at the first step of the path? Which one makes I don't want to say the least, but what's going to be your second step? Well, family, if you stayed this long, I truly appreciate it. But the real question isn't about PMP or Masters in Project Management. The better question is, what does my future demand? Don't let this be a decision you just continue to push off. Your career is already in motion. Here's a better recommendation. Don't think either or. Think first, then next. I'll say that again. Don't think either or. Think first, then next. Here's your call to action. Grab a sheet of paper, map out your 5-year vision, and work backwards, because the answer to the PMP or a master's in project management is written in the future you just decide. If you're new to the episode, I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, hey, listen, that just simply means Ed. Until next time.